to another episode of Command Combat Battle Reports. Today we have an epically huge game of Flames of War being played at Game Empire. It's the German-Russian front, so it promises to be a really massive battle. This game is going to be 3 players versus 3 players, but let's hear from one from each side.
The Russians have come with a forward detachment, an artillery regiment, and the Polish are also bringing out on the right flank. The Germans do not stand a chance.
And I will be speaking for the Germans. As you can tell, yes, I learned to speak with German accent from cheesy movies. Actually, I'm starting to sound Russian now. Oh boy, I think I'm becoming a traitor very quickly. Our strategy is to... we have armor on both flanks, and infantry in the middle with artillery. So, that center is going to try to... You know what, that is really sounding like a Russian accent. Anyway, in the center, we're going to use our artillery to try to pound the enemy on both sides and do an envelopment with the armor on both flanks. We also have air power, and we're going to try to pound with that where necessary.
So let's see how this thing goes. Since our camera is on the German side, we're going to look at it from that point of view. Let's meet some of our Germans.
Frederick.
All right. Who else?
Let's see. I think this is Jorg.
Okay.
Yep, that's Jorg.
And?
Heimlich maneuver. Yes. Heimlich. And this is Johann.
Awesome.
On the left side, the Russian armor is just charging at the German armor that's behind those hedgerows. In the center, the recon is rushing up and doing what it does best, checking out where the enemy is. And on the right, the Russians are making a slow advance, along with the Polish. So it's a general advance all along the Russian front. The Germans fire back, but get very few hits. So the Russian advance continues. And they're getting right in the Germans' faces. I wouldn't want to see the view through that guy's binoculars. Their air power comes in and they fire all along the front, destroying all the tanks on the left side, Heimlich included, and putting the napkin of death onto the tanks on the right side. Actually, it's smoke. The Germans have to roll for their reinforcements and air power.
I'm too confused, sorry. He's on our side, comrade. But that's what...
Okay, so we do have air coming.
They also get a bunch of their reserves, which are now coming onto the table. A lot of tanks. They get Tigers in the center, Stugs on the left, and anti-air on the right. In the center, the Germans take out one of the Russian tanks, and they almost take out the hero, but the hero has a special ability to dodge. The Russians counter by charging along all fronts. They zip through the hedge on the right, and crash through the center, firing as they go.
Wait a minute. Wait, what happened?
Hans. Poor Hans. Hans! What happened?
What happened to you, Hans? You rolled poorly.
You're on the radio.
They manage to pin down the center as they go in, and their charge is so successful they completely take out the SS soldiers in the center. This is how it's looking all along the front. It's looking pretty bleak for the Germans. On the right, the Germans pull the tank out of the napkin of death.
Napkin.
No, he was already in the napkin.
Oh, he's moving out of the napkin.
Leaving the napkin.
The napkin of death.
And on the left, they've brought in 2 King Tigers to stop the tide of iron the Russians are sending at them. And most impressive, they both have rapid fire as their special ace skills. Along with the help of the Panther, they take out 1 Russian tank in the center, and 2 on the far left, also bailing a 3rd. That causes the surviving tanks on the far left to retreat. In the center, they got half-tracks as reinforcements, and they gun down the infantry coming at them, pinning them down. That assault in the center is stopped. It looks like the tide has turned in favor of the Germans now. But that doesn't stop the Russians. They keep on rushing forward.
Stug?
No, you're... They do!
Oh, that's right, because you can do that even after trying on pen.
If you say so, I will not.
Yes, it is.
They bring down a ton of artillery and clear out a lot of that infantry and take out a half-track.
Alright, so how would I...
Their air power comes in and tries to take out the King Tigers,
One hit.
but take out a Stug instead.
You got the bailed one, but hey, I'll take it.
On the right side, Chuck maneuvers into position,
One of the new rules is if they shoot it, if they move, then they're only going to shot. Then they get
Their normal rate of
and the King Tigers shoot with their rapid fire, hitting every single time. They have just sliced through that line of Russian tanks. I guess that's what happens when they line up all in a row. It was probably just one shell that went clear through all of them. On the right, they have the same kind of luck, blasting away a ton of Shermans. The surviving Russians fail their morale, and now they clear out. The Germans are clearly winning this battle on the flanks, while the Russians have the center. The Russians charge at the King Tigers with AA guns, and they're coming at the remainder of the center with their infantry. One of the Russian heavy tanks moves over into position, and either he or the air power takes out the King Tiger. That is a big victory for them. They may be able to win that front, and in the center, they are slicing through the Germans like butter. But the game ends because the store is closing. Yes, it was the bane of the Eastern Front. Just when the battle was getting good, the store closes. Let's see what the players have to say about it.
our left flank folded, our right flank held, our middle, we smashed through the fascists in the center, and I think we could have pulled this out. I think we won this one, but we would have to complete the whole game. We need to start earlier next time.
Well, it's too bad we had to stop that one early because we had them just where they wanted us. We lost the center really badly. We had some guys coming back, but you know, probably would have stayed in their favor. On the left flank, we still have the King Tiger, and those things can do quite a bit even on their own. And on the right, we were doing pretty darn well. So there might have been some more that was going on if the battle had continued, but it looked pretty good for them. There's our air power. We didn't really get too much of it throughout the whole thing. Now they're coming in. But you know, it was a good game. Got a lot of fun.
Well, that'll do it for us here at Command Combat, reporting from Game Empire. Thanks for watching, be sure to subscribe, and happy gaming, everybody!